in Yeovil this Friday. If you're going to see Joe McElderry, it's on his set. So I've been chatting to the former X Factor winner, and here he is talking about that very song.
The show that on Friday in Yeovil it's called the Evolution Tour. So we'll actually start with Dance for My Father, and we'll take you right through kind of a storyline, musically obviously, of all of the 4 albums. So we'll start right at the beginning with the X Factor audition almost, and kind of recreate it in a modernised way, and obviously in a concert way, not a TV way. So it's quite interesting. It takes it right back to the beginning for me every night, obviously, when I'm doing it.
Is it kind of a meaningful song to you?
Yeah, well, I grew up listening to Luther Vandross. You know, all my family are big fans of him. My mum was, my dad was, and I think that the song is one of them songs that everybody can relate to. You know, everybody's lost somebody, whether it be a father or a grandfather or a grandmother or a mother. And I think you can kind of relate those lyrics, even though it is father, you can relate it to any kind of loss. So it's quite a powerful song, and you can see the audience when it's performed, like just hanging on to the lyrics, because they're really powerful lyrics.
You're coming to Yeovil on Friday, Joe.
Yes, I am.
Exciting. Is that new for you? Have you played there before?
I've been to Yeovil last year, actually, on the tour I did last year, so it's the second time. But the audience were fabulous last year. And I love the venue. It's a really cool venue.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to coming back. And the weather, I think, if I remember, I normally remember places by the weather or what the dressing room looks like.
I like it.
And if I remember right, the weather was boiling hot last year, so hopefully it'll be the same.
Yeah, oh, it'll definitely be the same. It's always really hot and sunny down here. What about the dressing room?
Dressing room.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, dressing rooms had no windows, I remember.
Right.
They were underneath the stage, and they were quite hot. It was boiling hot in the dressing room.
Yeah.
I always remember the places back. Isn't that terrible?
No, I love that.
I go to so many places that I have, like, we normally, me and the band, will have like a little trivia game on the tour, and we guess like either something that happened on stage that night by the venue, or a restaurant that we went to, or just something random. That's how we remember the places.
Yeah. Do you have a big rider when you're on tour?
Not really. I mean, the most that I suppose I have is like honey and lemon coffee, green tea and water. That's it.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring.
What happened to champagne?
Well, unfortunately, I'm one of these singers that loses my voice when I drink alcohol. And, well, I don't think it's unfortunate, because I think it actually stops us from going on a rock and roll party lifestyle.
I can see you doing that, Joe.
Yeah, it's such my character, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
But yeah, so I don't have the champagne. If we have a day off the next day, maybe we can have a little bit, but not when I have a couple of shows in a row.
Yeah. When I knew that I was going to talk to you, I looked up the fact that you won X Factor back in 2009. You're still only 23. How does that work?
I know, it's frightening. I feel a lot older than that.
Are you actually getting younger?
Is that the case of Benjamin Button?
Yeah.
I do feel. I feel like it's been longer than 5. I think it's nearly 5.5 years now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been longer than that, so I do feel a little bit older. And I feel like
time's dragged.
Well, not dragged. I just think like so much has happened in a short space of time. It's gone really quick. But I think like when you actually look at the things I've done, it feels like it's spanned across quite a lot of more years. But I mean, it flew by. I suppose that I'm busy all the time and having fun. But and I think the experiences obviously that I've had as well, I've had to grow up quickly, so that maybe makes us feel a little bit older as well. But
did you feel like a child when you were on that programme? Did you feel like you were kind of growing up as the programme went on?
I think you never really know. You always think you're a lot mature than you are, I think. And then 3 years on, you look back and think, actually, I wasn't. You know, I thought I was really mature at 21. I look back now and I wasn't. I thought I was really mature at 18, dealing with the X Factor and all of that. And then now when I look back, I was so naive about it all. And I was a kid, you know, I was a kid. So I think I didn't at the time, but I definitely think I was now.
And did you enjoy the whole experience of X Factor? Because I know that I've spoken to a lot of people who said it's quite tough. And all the TV stuff and the fact that the focus is completely on you is quite hard to deal with, especially when you're really young.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, I suppose, to get... the way I explain it, though, I think it's like when you start any job, obviously it's a little bit more intense because it's public and it's the pressure of in front of the nation, I suppose. But in I suppose it's the same sense as starting a new job. It takes a while to kind of settle into it, to know all of the routines of your job and everything like that. And I think it took
Find where the loos are.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's the key thing.
And I think it took me a good 2 years to kind of really take it all in my stride. But I didn't not enjoy it in the first 2 years. But I think now I'm a lot more relaxed about it. And I suppose you come to kind of like, you come to learn about the industry a little bit, and you sort of just take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, you know, which I think makes everything a little bit easier. Because I do think the pressure is put on you at the start, and it's like, oh my God, it's so serious and blah, blah, blah. And then you actually look at show business, and it's a bit of a joke, really, you know. It's supposed to be fun and light-hearted. And that's the way I look at it now.
Yeah, I know that it is quite hard to sustain a career over time, but you've managed to stay up there, and you've recorded, I think, are you on to your 4th album now?
Yes, I've released 4, and then I'm recording the 5th one now. So
is that hard to kind of sustain the level of interest in you when there are so many other artists around?
I think, yeah, I mean, show business is a tough industry, you know. It's very saturated, and you've got a lot of, you know, I mean, I'm a fan of the reality shows. I'm not, by saying this, I'm not slagging them off. You've got a lot of the reality shows now, there's so many of them, so you've got people coming in through all of those doors, you've got people coming in through all of the theatre schools. It's a saturated industry, it's really competitive as well. But I think if you kind of, I've been lucky to have a really, really supportive fan base, and I think if you just focus on kind of keeping them happy and doing your best at your job, then it kind of, and if you've got a good team around you as well, it kind of falls into place. But I mean, it's took me a while to kind of settle into that, you know, and you know, there's been ups and downs along the way, and bits where I've kind of thought, oh my God, like what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to do next? But I think if you actually, like some of the biggest artists in the world, they all say that they go through them kind of transitional periods in their career where they just have no idea what's coming next. And it is a bit of a roller coaster. But
and
you know,
does that ever get you down? I mean, does that worry you? Is that keeping you awake at night, or do you just think, no, it'll be okay?
Well, I think, you know, I'm a grafter, as we say up in the northeast. I work hard, and I'm not afraid of a bit of hard work either, you know. And I think it's all part of the experience, you know. And my aim, hopefully, is to create some longevity over the next, I hope, you know, 10 to 20 years. I hope so.
Yeah.
And I work for that. And you know, I deal with the ups and the setbacks along the way. It's all part of your career. It makes your story. It makes your history. And I think you've got to kind of just take that in your stride a little bit and not get too obsessive about it.
Yeah, that's Joe McElderry chatting to me on the afternoon show, and nice little story there about how he notices dressing rooms when he's on tour. So the dressing room at the Octagon, where he was last year and he's coming to this Friday, it's got no windows. Maybe we could knock a couple through for him before he comes this Friday, make him happy. So Joe McElderry, more from